Alright, this is the second episode of my webcast, podcast, whatever you want to call it. I've been putting insert webcast name here. That is not something that I want to call it, but it is a placeholder name. So, again, if you have an idea of what I should call this thing, let me know in the comments. And to reiterate on the first episode, comments are very helpful to me. They don't push the algorithm for YouTube to give me views or anything. They don't help in that way. They help me personally know that you're watching certain videos and know why you liked that video. If you comment on a video, let's say you comment on an Astrojack's video asking me to make a fingerboard video, for whatever reason, that's kind of annoying to me because it's not a fingerboarding video. If you want to see more fingerboarding videos, comment on a fingerboard video. I get a lot of comments that are like misplaced and it just doesn't make sense to me. But comments are super helpful, especially if you comment on older videos. Like if you comment on an old yo-yo video, I'm like, oh, maybe I should yo-yo a little bit more. Or whatever, I try to just, do whatever I like to do. I do get a lot of suggestions for content, but I'm not really the type of person to do what people say. Like if you try to command me to do something, I might not be in the mood, which is a perfect sway into the segment of talking about why I'm postponing and stretching out Catch 33's launch. I've just been ridiculously busy. I've been busy doing toy stuff. So I have been making music here and there, but not enough to where I can have a full album. And I've always done the RPM challenge, which is make an album inside the month of February. I've done that for the past, I don't know, let's say 14 years. I've always made an album in February. I think maybe 1 year I took a skip on that. But it has to do with me being stupid busy with toys. Like me running a toy company, doing a lot of toy stuff. I'm preparing this launch for Hallo, which is a Kendama toy I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But the Catch 33, that's a metal album. And Catch 33 is what I'm calling it, even though Meshuggah, I love Meshuggah. They actually have an album called Catch 33, so it's not like I'm coming up with an original name. It's just I'm 33 right now, and I wanted to make a metal album, and so my justification for pushing it until May 30th, which is my birthday, is because I'll be 34 on that day. And that's when I can't make Catch 33 anymore. So I haven't had enough time to really sit down and make music. I don't have any time after work. I might have like 2 to 4 hours after work, and an hour and a half of that is cooking and preparing for the next day, and just doing what I can. Like if I get 2 orders, just packing them takes a good 30 to 45 minutes. So I haven't really been able to sit down and make music like I normally would. But also I haven't really been motivated to make music, which kind of sucks. I'm in this weird headspace where I want to make the album, but I'm not in the mood to make music. And it's like this conflicting battle, because I haven't made music in a long time. So I thought by me doing the February project, it'd push me a little bit more. But me having this full-time job and working on Hallo and working on orders that come in, communicating with factories about new orders and new toys, is really taking up a lot of time. So I'm gonna push back the Catch 33 album, and I think giving myself a good 2-3 months should be enough time. I'll find a weekend or two where I could just sit down and work on music for 12 hours or something. I'll make sure to try to stream it. So let's go into Hallo. Hallo, I can't really tell what it is yet, other than it's a Kendama toy, and I've been working on it for a long time. A history of it is that it's an ancient toy, and no one really knows where it came from, and there's different iterations of it. And what I did was I took several different people's ideas of this toy, which has no name, and I made one. I tweaked it to where it plays the best in my opinion. And because it doesn't have a name, I was going through a ton of names. Through 3 years I've had this toy. I made one 3 years ago, and I was just like, holy crap, this thing is super fun. Why hasn't anyone made this into like a professional version to sell? And I looked everywhere, and that's when I started researching it. And most people, they'll make them out of different types of wood to experiment with, but nobody's ever made them as like a product, which blows my mind because it's the funnest kendama toy I've ever touched. And so I tweaked it, and I think my version has like a ton of possibilities. I've been filming on my break during lunch, which I eat. I wolf down my food in like 10-15 minutes, and then I take the rest of the hour to just film. Some days I'll get one trick, some days I'll get 10 tricks, but I just checked my folder, and I have 130 plus clips. And that's a pretty good chunk. I don't know what that'll equate to in minutes, but what I'm going to do is organize it all from the, not impressive tricks to the most impressive tricks and cut them into 2-minute edits. And I'm going to keep filming those until I feel like, I've hit a wall. But there's some days where I'm filming and I discover a new stall or a new trick or a new sequence, and I'm like, dude, this toy is truly amazing. It's super fun. It's fun to just do little quick tricks. It's also fun to try to link up really long combos. But I have been grinding on this thing. And just an example of how much time it takes to do a toy is tonight when my food was cooking, I had maybe 50 minutes. And so I started the pre-package phase. What I'm doing is I'm wrapping the hollows, putting inserts in, putting the stickers in, preparing them to get shrink wrapped. And in 50 minutes, I only did 20 of them. So I think most people think, it'd be super easy to just throw a sticker in a package and wrap something and tape it, put a rubber band around it, put an insert inside of it. It is easy, but it takes so much time. And after 50 minutes, and I see that I only did 20, I was like, geez, this is going to take a while. I bet it's going to take me 3 or 4 weeks to even prepare them for shrink wrapping. And then to shrink wrap them, I'm going to have to stay over work a good, probably, hour or two at work, just shrink wrapping and heat gunning them shut. But I want to make these, really nice. So each one comes with string, an insert that tells you about the toy, a sticker, it's wrapped with a graphic, and then I'm shrink wrapping it. So there's also a rubber band that kind of holds it together so that I can shrink wrap it. But it's a lot of work, and I'm only shrink wrapping and preparing the ones that I have. I'm planning on doing a Kickstarter. I don't know if I should do a Kickstarter. Maybe you could comment and tell me what you think. Should I just launch them, or should I do a Kickstarter? I want to do a Kickstarter because there's that chance that, it takes off or I get more orders than I would. And in the middle of that, let's say I get more orders for the Hallo than I expected, I'll just put in a big order for my factory and be like, hey, start making these. I would say 100 to 200 for the factory might take them 1 to 3 months to make and then send to me. So I don't think this will happen, but if I get 800 to 1,000 orders of Hallo on a Kickstarter, it might take, half a year to get them all and wrap them and package them and send them out. But I will do my best to do that as quick as I can if that does happen. What I'm hoping is the Kickstarter does semi well, but I'm always like iffy if I should do a Kickstarter or not, because it's outside of Etsy, which I guess I'm OCD about some of this stuff. Like, it doesn't really matter if it's outside of Etsy. It just feels like there's no sales getting marked. But I think the Kickstarter has a better reach. It gives the offer of like, hey, these are going to be retailed for $45, but if you get it now, it's $35 to $40. There'll be like a price cut on the Kickstarter. I could also sell limited edition Halos on the Kickstarter, because I did a Kickstarter originally for Halo, and I offered the limited edition, and I said that they would never be out again, and I have 17 of them. So I figure if I have another Kickstarter, I can have an option where people can buy. They'll have 17 available limited edition Kickstarters. Limited edition Kickstarter Halos available. So if anyone wants one, they can get one while the Kickstarter is running. At the same time, if I do a Kickstarter, I will still have the Holos available in the Etsy at retail price. So that's the thing that I want people to know. If you're listening to this, then you'll know that. But I think most people might not see that. They'll go to the Kickstarter and think that's the only place you can get it. If you want one immediately, then I'll have one on my shop. So yeah, it's just been a grind. Like, I've been working at this place for a month and a half. I film for 1 hour a day, and I have 130 clips. So I don't know what the math is on that, but it's not that many clips, because some of these tricks are super hard to land. I'll spend all day sometimes, my whole break doing one combo, and I don't even get close. But then some days I'll land like 20 things. It's a really fun toy, and I'm hoping that people dig it, because I'm putting a lot of time and effort into it. So one thing I want to talk about before I end the podcast, webcast, whatever, I need a name, is fingerboarding. So one thing that I've been doing instead of making my album is filming a fingerboard edit. And I guess you could call that procrastination, but I don't know, I'm just not in the mood to make music. So I've decided to start a fingerboard edit. I know that I have fingerboard videos on my YouTube, but I don't have fingerboard edits. I have G8 edits and event edits, but those don't count to me. I don't have one where I sat down trying to land specific tricks. If I do an edit at an event, I have like 8 hours while I'm there to make a video, and most of the time I get like 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes of footage. But now I'm starting to film when I get home from work. Sometimes when I'm cooking my food for the next day, I have 50 minutes when that's happening. So I'll sit down and just film me fingerboarding. I got a GoPro 8 and I got a light attachment. So I've been trying to land really hard fingerboard tricks. And fingerboarding has been this toy that just popped back into my life. So I want to kind of like explain why fingerboarding just came back out of nowhere. So last year I was looking at YouTube videos. I think my mom had posted some kind of like 10 things you can do with concrete with arts and crafts. And I saw someone pour... Man, the people outside are really loud. I saw someone pour concrete into a mold and then break it apart. And I was like, what? It just blew my mind, because if me and my friends would have seen that, we would have been making ramps out of concrete in the woods. And I don't know why it took me all the way to where I'm 33 to see that and for it to click, because I'm a skateboarder at heart. But I saw that and I was like, dude, I wonder if you could make a toy out of concrete or jewelry. And so I went outside and I made a mold. I just tested some concrete molds, throwing paint in. I just wanted to see if I could do it. I can. It's easy. You should too. You should go try to play with concrete. It's super fun. You don't have to be a fingerboarder to, make something out of concrete. You can make anything out of concrete. But I made these little, like, I don't know, caps. I used some like caps to test out with. They're like insides of Coke cans. But I made this little tiny ramp for fun. And I had ordered a rail off Amazon because I thought I was going to make a finger bike video. And I still plan to make a finger bike video. But I ordered this rail thinking, maybe I'll do a finger bike edit one day. And I made this little concrete ramp at the same time. And when I brought it inside, I was like, just for fun, I haven't fingerboarded in so long, I think 15 years. I was like, I'm going to pull out a fingerboard and just play around on the ramp. And I started messing with it, and I was like, hey, this is pretty fun. And I talked to some people about it, one being Jeff, and he told me, hey, have you seen the 32 millimeter fingerboards? And I was like, no, what's so different about it? I didn't really understand what 32 millimeter was. And he said they listened to the community and they made new fingerboards that are bigger and kind of to the standards of new age fingerboarding. And I was like, oh, all right, I guess I'll get one. They're kind of cheap. It changed my whole perspective on fingerboarding. I bought a 32 millimeter fingerboard and I was just like, whoa, this thing's crazy. It felt like I was cheating. And since then, I've been hooked on it. It just jumped into my top 5 favorite toys. Out of nowhere. It was originally the number 1 toy I started with as a kid. Like, that was probably my first actual skill toy, was a fingerboard. And now, it's just like, my main thing. So I've been making videos and unboxings and event videos, but I feel like I'm ready to make an edit. So I've been filming, it's the same with Hallo. Every day, sometimes I'll film and it's like, oh man, I only got one trick out of that 50 minutes. Sometimes it's like, hey, I landed 12 tricks. But my plan is to keep filming this until I have like a good chunk of fingerboard clips. So many clips that I'm like, alright, I have 200 fingerboard clips. It's time to take the best ones and make a legit edit. I'm going to take the rest and make Instagram videos out of them so that I don't just waste all of those. But I think like, yeah, I'm going to make an edit. It's going to be a nighttime edit. But I think it's about time that I do that. I've been fingerboarding again, back on it for like half a year, maybe. I don't know when I unboxed the 32 millimeter exactly, but I think it's been around a year. Not sure, but I'm definitely under a year fingerboarding again, and the muscle memory in the past is definitely helpful with me now. Like, I'm able to land things that I never would have dreamt of landing. Like, I think in the edit there's a clip where I did a tray flip blunt, shove it blunt, tray flip out, which I never would have been able to do in the past. Fingerboarding was super hard for me. Now it's like, it's still a really hard toy, but I'm able to do things. If I think like, hey, I want a tray flip nose blunt, nollie flip out, I can do that. And it's crazy, like, it's cool to be able to fingerboard again. So, another thing is that I'm going to launch the Catch 33 album on May 30th, which is my birthday. And I'm also making this little announcement. If I am not able to launch Hallo before May, as hard as I'm working, I'm hoping that I can get it out before May. But if I don't, I will show what it is. I will post pictures, I guess, and say, like, this is coming soon. But I will reveal it on my birthday. That's something that I've always done. Every birthday I have, like, a new toy or something that I announce. So I think that Hallo would be a good one. I have some other toys that I'm currently working on for my shop. for Play Access. A big one that is now in the process is Love Decks is making me custom fingerboard decks that I will be selling myself through Play Access, which I'm excited about because, first of all, his boards are really dope. And second, it'll be cool to have fingerboarding products. I have a lot of ideas. I have some rails that no one has done. I think I can make standard rails, etc., etc. But I don't want to do any of that until I have decks in my shop. It would be a little weird to just put out a fingerboard rail and me not have fingerboards. I'm also working on a yo-yo, which is being 3D modeled by someone I know online, and they went 0 to 60. Like, at first he was just showing me like 2D grid drawings, and the other day he sent me a full-on 3D model of this thing, and it just blew my mind to see it, to actually see it in 3D. I was like, dude, this yo-yo is sick. I don't know when that'll come out, but again, I'm working on like so many toys at once. I've got a new type of necklace toy, which is also kind of I wouldn't say it's new, but I've got another necklace toy coming out. I've got a unique quote-unquote coin toy that's coming out. Not Crescent, this is a different one. So I have a lot of things that I'm working on. Some jump and take priority, like Hallo. I got my shipment finally after 3 years. I'm able to hold some in my hands and make videos with it. So Hallo is priority. That's coming next. For sure, that's coming next. But I think after that, I'll try to do the next necklace toy, and then this coin toy as well. I'm working on too many toys. I'm serious. But yeah, so I guess that's the end of this because I'm reaching 20-ish minutes. This whole thing is for, I guess, real fans. My last one only got like 52 views to this date, which is super low. But those 52 people who listened, thank you. And if you're listening now, thank you. Please comment. Tell me what to talk about next time. I feel like I'm repeating myself a little from the last episode, but whatever. I'll try to come with a topic and then leave current events to the side or end. I'll try to come with topics like, I don't know. I could talk about dreams that I have. I have weird dreams. Or I could talk about businesses that I've worked for that were awful. Like how this place burned down. Or how I worked for the most racist dude ever. Like, I have so many stories of bad businesses that I've worked for out here. Yeah, just let me know. I feel like I'm rambling at this point. I think 20 minutes is about the cutoff time for these things, because if I don't have a subject, I kind of lose focus. So, yeah, I'm making these. I'm committing to these. I need a name for these. I need comments from people. I'm not asking you to subscribe or like or any of that shit. I'm just asking for comments. Give me feedback. I need feedback for sure. Don't tell me what to do. You can suggest things. But I definitely need feedback. Alright, so that was episode 1. My neighbors are being loud, and I'm out. Oh, yeah. I can't just leave. I gotta end with beatboxing, right? I have a super dry mouth right now. If you haven't noticed, in my voice cracking and sounding weird, whatever. So I'll try to beatbox. Wow.
out.